You look at me sometimes as if you know what's inside my mind, and I concern with the way I feel from day to day. Oh, but then you turn away. It doesn't matter what I try to say. I'm never sure just where I stand. So don't play with the one who loves you. Keep your lies to the one who cares. Don't you play with the one who loves you. For the day may come when I'm not there.
Hello and welcome to another episode of The Grindbin. I'm Mike Wood.
I'm Chris Mann.
I'm Michael Tanner.
And today we're going to be talking about 1976's The Pom Pom Girls.
Fuck it.
Hey, Bobby, I got the money.
Dad, I made the team! But you're a hooker.
Get that goddamn thing out of your mouth.
Spooky got no real rhythm. We're gonna play a little game, baby.
I just love fun and games. Get a little girl all hot and horny.
This is Los Angeles.
How the hell would women live? I'm horny. And maybe Daddy wouldn't have had to kill himself because he couldn't get it up anymore. What a shame.
Come on, just step on the gas before we get green. And more.
Fuck it, huh? That's how you.
I
That's
stand
all
by
you can
that.
muster for this one.
Yeah.
Guys, this is a Patreon select. This is from I believe he was our first Patreon. And so I gave him two picks because I was like, hey, guess what? You're the inaugural patron. So you get two picks from our good friend Jodan Baker from Joysticks. Hey, Jodan.
Nice.
This was his second choice. The Pom Pom Girls, which is a Crowd International classic from 1976. 1 year before The Van, you have The Pom Pom Girls. And you're going to see that connection. And boy,
Oh, God.
wait until you fucking find out. Chris, did you look at the IMDb for this movie?
No, I want to go on blind on this one.
Oh, you are going to be shocked at who directed and wrote this movie.
Well, I know who edited it.
Well, our boy George
Yeah,
Bowers. Come
yeah,
on now.
yeah.
Director of Beach Girls.
That's right.
And, what do you call it? My Tutor.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. Director of My Tutor, editor of Beach Girls.
Mm-hmm.
Get it
And
right,
editor
Mike.
of this. Yeah. And Johnny Depp's good friend from that one movie. Oh, Private Resort. That's
Oh,
what
yeah.
he directed.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
Director and writer Joseph Ruben. Now, you may have heard that name before because he has an interesting and varied directing career. He only has 16 credits, but there's some real interesting choices. 1974, he directed The Sister-in-Law, which is a really great Crown movie. Kind of like a Howard Avedis movie. Very, everybody gets their comeuppance at the end. Great movie. 1977, Joyride with Robert Carradine in it. We'll be hearing that name again very soon. I don't know if it's the Joyride that they remade.
Yeah, because
I'm pretty
when you
sure
said it, I
is.
thought I was like, oh, I know that movie. I don't know that movie.
1980, a movie we just talked about on our last podcast, us three recorded together. Whether or not it comes out right before this, I don't know. Gorp. He directed it. Gorp. The Jewish Waiters, starring Dennis Quaid. Then he directed in 1984. It kind of upped his game because then he directed another movie with Dennis Quaid called Dreamscape.
Oh, okay.
I've heard of that one,
I've
yeah.
heard that one.
Yeah. Then he directed 1987's The Stepfather.
Oh.
Yeah.
Who am I this time?
This is, I'm telling you, it gets better. Then 1989, he directed a movie called True Believer with James Woods and Robert Downey Jr.
Is that about white supremacists? No, I'm
No, it's
thinking
about lawyers.
Okay.
Well, we always wanted to see James Woods and Robert Downey Jr. as lawyers. Then 1991, he directed Sleeping with the Enemy with Julia Roberts.
Oh, yeah.
And guys, here it comes. The tour de force.
Okay.
1993, sorely passed over for all sorts of awards, he directed The Good Son.
Oh, my God. Yes!
Our favorite Macaulay movie.
Yeah.
The guy who made the Pom Pom Girls, who wrote and directed Pom Pom Girls, directed and produced The Good Son.
Hell yeah. Yes.
Then in 1995, he directed Money Train with Wesley Snipes and Woody Harrelson. 1998, that's basically Money Train was it. Because 98, he directed a movie called Return to Paradise. And then it kind of went downhill because then he directed 2004, The Forgotten with Julianne Moore. Hilarious movie.
Is that the alien?
Yeah,
one?
it's where you
Oh.
get forgotten.
Yeah.
Where basically forgotten is that like if at any point you just get pulled off screen like a rag doll, you get Grand Theft Auto'd out of the movie.
Is that on the airplane?
No. It's like I don't know. It's this shitty horror movie with Julianne Moore where she just says like it's like for some reason people just get pulled out of existence. They get forgotten.
They enter that console command code, and next thing you know,
Yeah, Control Alt Delete, and they're gone.
Yeah.
You know. Then in 2013, he directed a movie called Penthouse North, which starred Michael Keaton. I'm like, I don't know anybody that knows
Yeah.
of that.
that sounds like straight to Cinemax to me.
Yeah, it's pre-Birdman. Pre-Birdman.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Before a Keaton Renaissance.
After White Noise and then pre-Birdman.
Oh yeah. Oh, White Noise. Yeah, Chris saw that opening night.
I did.
He definitely did.
I did.
He was like, finally an EVP movie. Thank God. I know because Chris and I have been friends for a long time, and he was talking that movie up like, you know, it could be good. That's one of the ones I believe you were trying to get me to go see with you because you've gotten me to see some movies.
yeah.
Like, I've seen too many Saws. That I
So you've
care to
seen more
mention.
than one.
Yeah, I mean, he's gotten me in multiple Saw movies, and obviously he's such a fan of that Cary Elwes. It's a little perverse that
Only
he's
for-
now dropped it in the theme song. Not even from a movie we've covered, but we reference it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm hoping you get some Christopher Walken communion drops in your next.
Are you old?
We need that. And then 2017, he directed a movie called The Ottoman Lieutenant. Nobody's ever heard of it.
No.
But it has Josh Hartnett in it. So
Ooh.
he's still acting.
Yeah.
Did you know
Plays a
that?
footstool.
Yeah. Robert J. Rosenthal, Grindbin All-Star.
I've heard that name, yeah.
The other writer of this movie, because he wrote Malibu Beach and The Van.
Yeah. Yeah.
Winner.
Wrote Pom Pom Girls. Cast. Okay. Robert Carradine, Johnny, half brother of David Carradine, is probably he's most well known as, and also for his role as Lewis in Revenge of the Nerds.
Everyone's favorite nerd rapist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's back, still raping ladies, but
He's had a tumultuous life lately.
oh well. So Tanner and I saw him about 6 months ago at Son of Monster
really?
Palooza.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
And he had his own booth next to Booger. Nobody wanted Robert Carradine's autograph. He was literally sitting on his phone, which I don't even think was a smartphone.
No, it was a flip. It was a Motorola flip.
Yeah.
And nobody wanted that autograph.
Yeah.
I thought that was sad,
That was sad.
but I wasn't going to pay for it.
No.
Well, you know
I
why?
bought
I mean-
Wilford Brimley's autograph, and he was a dick about
Yeah,
it.
real dick.
Like, I can imagine what Richard Carradine. What's his name? Robert Carradine?
Dick Carradine.
Dick
No,
Carradine.
No, Robert Carradine.
Robert Carradine. I bet you he's a
Yeah.
real asshole about it.
No, he seemed like he was fine. He didn't seem like he was stuck
Good
up or
natured.
anything.
I mean, he's had paying gigs.
yeah, he has 129 credits. And I'm kidding. He had a smartphone. He's
Okay.
Come on. I mean,
I don't even think he had shoes on, to be, to be frank.
Robert Carradine?
I think he had like
No,
one
he-
slipper and
he
like
was
a
fine.
Band-Aid wrapped around his foot.
Honestly, I don't know why he was at that convention. He was above most of the people that were there. I mean, we're talking about like Linnea Quigley, who didn't even bother to show up with her workout DVD, and Linda Blair,
Yeah.
and Keith David. I would say that was the one where I'm like,
Yeah.
come on, dude.
I bet you he
You're
lives
better
nearby.
in this.
He probably lives down the street.
Yeah, and I mean, Wilford Brimley, that was just sad.
Yeah.
Like, why is he
He's
there?
Just pissed
Yeah,
off.
we know what
man.
happened with Robert Carradine though. Like 2 years, a year or 2 years ago, he tried to like drive his car head on into traffic with his wife in the car and tried to kill both of them.
What?
Fuck?
Yeah,
This Carradine?
yeah.
So this movie's true.
Whoa.
He's
yeah.
a fucking crazy man, is what
Yeah.
you're saying. He seemed fine at the convention.
Yeah.
He kept
Calm-
looking at my
calm before the
neck. I
storm.
didn't know what that meant.
Allegedly, he's had some mental health issues, and his wife took him off his meds, and which caused him to go over the edge. And he tried to kill both of them in his car by driving, and he succeeded by crashing his car into oncoming traffic, and it was a big
So
deal.
this whole bit took a turn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. Thanks for bringing
Yeah.
this down, Chris. I was going to mention he was in Escape from L.A. He was in Lizzie McGuire. The TV
Wait, he was
and
in
the movie
Escape from
show.
L.A.?
Yeah. He was also in Ghost of Mars. He was in The Player,
Wow.
Django Unchained, and many, many more. What? Yeah. Yeah, he makes like small roles in all these movies.
Huh.
So let's just move on from that after
Yeah.
Chris just really brought us down.
That's what I do best. Yeah.
Captain Bring Down over here.
Man, no wonder nobody wanted his autograph.
Yeah, they're afraid of him.
By the way,
Be afraid of mental
yeah,
illness.
by the way, really pathetic, I think, because this movie, holy shit.
Yeah.
He's a fucking crazy man
Yeah.
in this movie.
That's why I was kind of shook me when I saw this. I'm like, oh my God. Like, life imitating art, art imitating life. It's just.
Did he just like think he was back in this movie? Like, because
Pom Pom Girl
is,
flashbacks.
Okay, he is our quote main character and protagonist.
Yeah.
Yet, no, like I can't agree with the
He's the
thing this man
shittiest
does.
person in this movie.
Also,
and this
this
movie
is-
is full of shitty people. He's the shittiest.
Yeah, and I mean, we're all in agreement that this is the origin story for Christine, right? Because he drives that car, and he drives it like a murderous car has taken control of him. And there's multiple points where he almost kills people, and intentionally. So Michael
There you
Mullins, who plays Jesse, who I just write his friend, because for a long time I didn't know his name, and then you find out his name's Jesse, and then he quasi becomes the protagonist of this movie in a storyline that they don't earn.
No.
They're like, we're going to make this into like a Varsity Blues.
Oh, God.
And I'm like, but you haven't earned that. But they do it anyways. He has 30 credits, lots of random TV roles in a few movies. 1970 Rebel was his first role. That stars Stallone.
Wow.
It's about politically motivated students who want to bomb companies that do business with Middle East dictators.
Holy shit.
Never heard of this movie.
Yeah, it's one of the early Stallones, you know, like one of the Italian stallion Stallones, I think.
So it's a hot porno.
Yeah, I'm a rebel. I also like to fuck.
I'm gonna drop a bomb on you.
We only got 2 minutes to fuck before this bomb goes off. I think that's how the movie ends.
Spit take.
Yeah.
I was drinking water during that.
I think that's how the movie ends, is that they're bombing a building, but Stallone and a girl fall in love and they fuck while the bomb goes off. And they forgot. But all the people are like, man, they're really dedicated to the cause. And then like Ghost Stallone just shows up and goes, no, I forgot, man. But actually,
Anybody find my dick?
like, has anybody seen the movie A Ghost Story? Which is, it's a good movie. It's like an indie movie that has Casey Affleck in it, and he's a ghost with a sheet. Like, he's a literal ghost with a sheet over his head because he's a ghost man. And I would like it if that was the same movie as Stallone was just left behind with that building for all time with a sheet over his head.
And a big boner.
Yeah. Yeah, a sheet over his head, and it's poked out as a little pitch in the tent.
Ooh.
You know, they didn't cover that in A Ghost Story, which is really depressing. They should have covered Can Ghosts Get Boners?
Soundbite of the day, everybody.
1978, he was in a movie called The Texas Detour, soon to be on this show because it's directed by Grindbin all-star Howard Avedis, our favorite from Scorchy,
Yep.
The Teacher, and Dr. Minx. Which, Chris, I think you missed Dr.
I
Minx.
did, unfortunately.
Holy fuck, was that a good movie?
Wow. I'll watch it.
It's a good episode.
A trip. Oh, thank you, Tater. It's one you checked out.
I checked it out.
$2 worth, huh?
Yeah.
That movie is about a trip across the United States takes a wrong turn when 3 California teenagers have their van stolen. Stranded in a backwoods town with the sheriff refusing to help, the trio decide to settle scores while getting justice. That sounds like
That does
hell
sound good.
yes. Lisa Reeves, who plays Sally. Now we're going to get into it. Every movie that this guy has written has a Sally in it. Because obviously he, some girl that he probably fucking touched himself too nightly, and she didn't want to pay him any attention, I'm gonna write her in every script I ever make.
He's got like the crazy ex-boyfriend syndrome going on.
Yeah, now she's mine. She's mine.
Now I have control.
Because Sally's always with another guy, and some other guy's taking her, and yeah, we get it. We get it. Like, I feel like this guy at some point, the guy who wrote these movies at some point did kidnap a girl named Sally, bring her in his van, and threaten to drive off a cliff if she didn't fuck him. I'm pretty sure that happened. 9 credits Lisa Reeves has. This was her first movie. Then 1977, You Light Up My Life. You Light Up My Life. 1977, then The Chicken Chronicles. The description, a high school senior tries to score with Margaret. That's it.
Is Margaret a chicken?
Guys, she plays Margaret.
Oh.
And guess what? It's a Guten turd.
Oh.
That might be Steve Guttenberg's intro into the Grindbin.
Oh, my
Because
God,
he starred in
yes.
some weird drive-in movie where he tries to fuck some lady named Margaret. You think he also brings her to a van and tries to drive off a cliff?
Of course.
Knowing that turd?
Or maybe it's like a chicken truck.
Okay, this is the best movie, though, in her IMDb. 1978, and by the way, real heavy hitter in it. Ski Lift to Death.
Jesus.
Stay tuned for that one. A sports promoter tries to matchmake for a pair of ski champions, and as a result, they end up trapped in a derailed ski lift car, along with a gangster and the hitmen sent to kill them. And it stars Don Johnson.
Oh, yes. Please tell me he plays the hitman.
Ski Lift to Death.
I thought it was going to be
Has to be a TV movie.
It
Nope.
feels like
No.
it.
No,
What?
it is not. No, it is not.
I
At
hear
least
Don
on
Johnson,
IMDb.
and that's just screams TV movie.
Yeah?
Starring Don
Hey,
Johnson.
man,
What-
you don't
what
know
year
the
did
power
it
of
come
Don.
out?
1978. Ski Lift to Death. Still in the movies, man. I don't know.
All right.
We'll see. We'll see. It didn't say TV movie next to it. So, James Gammon, who plays the coach.
Oh, yeah.
Now, do you guys recognize him?
Yeah, I fucking do.
Yeah,
This
do you-
guy is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
Do you remember him from another
Major League.
Yes.
Yeah.
He's the coach of
Yeah.
Major League.
God, I love him in that
Yeah, he's
movie.
great.
He is so good at that movie. I just write, yeah, he's famous for another coach role.
Yeah.
Major League. Then he's a longtime character actor. He has 138 other credits. So the guy is prolific. I didn't realize it was him at first. And then I was like, why does that guy look so familiar? Oh my God.
He's real skinny in this. So it's like, it took me a while,
Okay.
but I was like, oh yeah, that's him.
Yeah.
Guys, this was... I'm sorry, what year did this come out? 1976? Major League was only 13 years later.
And he looks like an old grandpa.
It's like it was 50 years later. But Major League, he plays like some old guy that's just
like
you
a
know,
Jimmy
farting-
Reese.
Yes. It's like, what the fuck? What happened,
Why-
dude?
He's a high school coach in this movie. I don't feel like it's that.
But he looks young.
Yeah.
But in Major League, he looks like a California raisin. What happened?
Well, it's my favorite line in the second one. He goes, I love this British shit.
Susan Player, who plays Sue Ann.
Yeah.
I don't know anybody's name in this movie, by the way. Grindbin All-Star.
One of the blondes, right?
Yeah, she's a Grindbin All-Star from the B-Girls.
Oh, my
and
God.
Malibu High, where she plays Sally. So she got her
Yes.
turn in the Sally wheel.
Yes. Sally Wheel.
Is Malibu High before this or after?
After.
Okay,
It goes
makes sense.
Pom Pom Girls, The Van, and then Malibu High.
And we're still trying to look for Jill Lansing.
It's a real trilogy, believe it or not. This is the Van trilogy. This is the first one, then it was the Van, and then it was Malibu Beach. Or no, Malibu Beach, not Malibu High. She was in Malibu Beach. Jennifer Ashley, who plays Lori, Grindbin All-Star from Chained Heat.
Chock full.
And then guys, the one, the only, one of the Grindbin favorites.
The Brando.
He might be up for the first, literally the
Yeah.
Brando in this movie,
Yeah.
by the way.
Yeah.
That outfit at the end.
Oh,
Wow.
my God. I was like, where are they going for James Dean or Brando?
Oh,
The hat is Brando.
yeah, that hat. I looked up Marlon Brando and I was like, yeah, that's definitely what they were going for. Bill Adler, the Beltman himself, Bill Adler. Maybe he's going to make it in the first annual Grindbin Hall of Fame. We'll see. His name should be on that ballot.
Yeah.
Who plays Dwayne in this movie? Who basically just gets shit on the
Yeah.
entire movie.
For
no
no
fault
reason.
of his own.
No.
Yeah. So, guys, a little bit of trivia. Bill Adler and Robert Carradine performed their own stunts. Somebody wrote that, and I wrote, of course they fucking did, because it's a Crown movie. Yeah. Crown International's hiring stuntmen.
I can't count how many times. Cannot count how many times I saw a near death on camera in this movie.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Robert Carradine, what the fuck is he doing in this movie? Like, I know what he's doing in this movie. He's acting as a young guy who's getting any role he can. But Jesus, man, there are parts where, yes, Chris, inches within death. And then after the film's initial... This is the weirdest trivia I've ever heard. After the film's initial run in 1976 as an R-rated feature, they recut it and re-released it in 1977 as a PG movie.
Wow.
Where they cut out 80 seconds and they deleted 200 expletives and sex scenes. And apparently that's only 80 seconds. So you imagine there's parts where Robert Carradine is about to say something and then they just cut the audio. What did he say? This is good for my kids.
What would have been the point of releasing a PG version?
Yeah,
of
what's
it?
the appeal?
Like, who was that for?
Well, I mean, you got to get it in classrooms somehow. Right?
This is a rainy day fair.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I can't
Last
tell me
day of
how many
school.
fucking times I had to see the Santa Claus as a kid on a rainy day, or
Yeah.
the Big Green, which, by the way, I've never seen the end of that movie. Not once. I've seen the first 20 minutes of it or whatever every time there was a rainy day in California, because our schools are outside.
Yeah.
So when you have a rainy day, they all bring you inside and they're like, oh, you can't go to lunch today. We're going to watch a movie. And you watch the same movie all the time. But if
Yeah.
it rains 2 days in a row, you don't finish the movie. They would just start a new one. You're like, well, no, I want it. I mean, I'm kind of emotionally invested. I want to know if that soccer team wins. I'm guessing because it's a Disney movie they do. But,
Yeah.
you know,
You
I
just
never
want to see it for yourself.
Guys, can you tell me, did they ever win in Little Giants? Because I've seen the beginning of that movie. Did the Little
I
Giants
don't
win?
remember. That was during PE. I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't.
I was busy trying to hide an erection. If you remember that episode, Thrashing.
Chris spent most of his youth hiding an erection.
Check back our Thrashing episode for that story.
Yeah, as we all did. I mean, if you were a young boy at any moment in history, you spent a lot of time in school hiding erections.
Literally, you would just walk down the hall and not even understand what was happening to
Oh,
yourself.
God.
The
You know
wind-
the worst when the bell rings and you're like, I'm not ready to stand. Cannot do it.
Yeah, the wind blows against you, and you're like, "Ugh."
You know, and you try to explain this to your significant other, and you're like, no, it's called an NRB. It's a no reason boner. It used to happen all the time. And they're like, well, I don't understand. Did you see something sexy? It's like, no. I'm sitting here thinking of my grandma, and it still won't go down. It's for fuck's sake.
I was thinking of Vietnam and just boy, yo, 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 yo.
Well, the hard part about that, no pun intended, is now that they don't understand why that doesn't happen now. And you have to be like, listen, I am older. Things are just going to start slowly decaying.
You know, it's like an old car. You got to let it warm up. You
Yeah.
know? You gotta,
Listen, I used to wake up feeling a certain way. Now I wake up just wanting to go back to sleep.
just waiting for the bomb, you know? That's what life becomes, just a long series of waiting for North Korea to strike. So, guys, the first note I have of this movie is, what the hell? Because it literally starts on a flaming lynching. So this movie starts strong.
Yeah.
It gets your attention right away.
And just so you
because
know, this is how Little Giants ended.
they set Rick Moranis on fire and lynched him. Because all we hear is some whispering sounds. We see like what looks almost like a prison.
Yeah.
And you later find out it's a school. At night, you hear, and then something comes down hung from a rope by its neck and on fire.
Smash cut.
Yeah, we cut. We don't find out what this is. And I'm just like, God damn. I mean, up until that point, I might be believing that maybe Robert Carradine might be responsible for some of this. Because he has a long history of crimes on screen, stretching from this to Revenge of the Nerds. Legit crazy, man. So then we just go to the title of the movie instead.
Yeah.
So just let's cut from that lynching. You know, give him a little taste. To a title on the beach, and they're like, no, we're having a good time. It's the Pom Pom girls. And they're just kind of doing the dance on the beach.
Doing routines.
Yeah.
Because I was watching this on YouTube, so the picture quality wasn't great.
Yeah.
So I could not tell on some of the girls if they were naked or if they were in swimsuits because the coloring was off.
Yeah, so
it's
they-
like, are there titties like right in the first 10 seconds of this movie?
No, they're all wearing swimsuits. And apparently cheerleader practice was held at the beach that day. So,
California, man.
yeah, that's how we live down here, down in the Cali. By the way, nobody in California calls it that.
No.
If you visit here, don't call it that.
We will hit you.
Yeah, if you say that word, if you say, yeah, I'm going to Cali or something, everybody knows you're from out of town and they will fucking rob you.
Just like anyone from California going to Portland, Oregon for something, they will rob you.
Yeah. If you walk around Hollywood Boulevard and you utter the words Cali, look behind you because there's about 4 people following you, and one of them's probably dressed like a superhero. Don't give them money to take a picture.
Well, I'll give Superman money. He needs money. He got his teeth knocked out.
Yeah, we saw that whole documentary on him. You know, it was sad.
It's real sad. I saw quick side note when I first moved to Los Angeles, I was actually in Santa Monica and I saw him just like walking around in costume, smoking a cigarette, and I thought that was really weird. And another guy like nearby was like, "Huh, you don't see that every day." And I thought he was referring to something else. I was like, "Oh, what?" He's like, "Superman smoking." I was like, "Yeah, it's weird, right?" He's like, "Yeah, it's fucking weird." And I was like, I had no idea that Hollywood Boulevard had people in costumes.
Oh yeah.
So I didn't know why there was a guy walking around, let alone in Santa Monica, wearing a Superman costume.
Then you made the mistake of saying, "So what's fun in Cali?"
Yeah.
And the guy just looked at you and said,
Pulled out a gun.
"Oh, oh, here we go, Mark. Why don't you get in my car? We'll go find it." Huh? So then we go to we cut between them doing cheers and football players doing drills, and then the credits just roll. We go to the football practice. The coach, he's like, "Okay, guys, we're gonna get real pumped. Ready? Win, win, win." That's all they cheer. Just win, win. That's, I think, how we do it. And then the girls just play in the waves like girls do. You know, pillow fights and waves. Then we go to the burn lynching remnants. Which apparently at school and nobody noticed.
Yeah,
all day.
Right there, yeah.
So this happened at a school, and then you find, oh, thank God, it's just a class skeleton in a football uniform, which is a prank from the rival team. And then I go, at least we got some context. Because, man, imagine if they just never referenced that again. That would have been great if it just opens on hanging football player, and then just like, yep, that's it. Then Carradine says, you know, damn, we'll go get them. Carradine then starts this movie strong.
Yes.
The original Bobby, OG Bobby. Holy shit. He finds a girl on PCH, and he just fucking circles her like he's going to kill her. Like he's eyeing his prey as he just circles around. She's in the middle, and he's just doing donuts around her. And he's like, get in the car, get in the car, get in the car. She's like, I will never, ever get in a car with you. I know about you, and I've heard stories. And then he looks at her and he goes, I don't like you anyways because you got a pimple on your ass. And I'm like, our main character, everyone. Yeah. Our main character.
I am on his side.
You're going to be back in this for the next hour 20.
Then, guys, what do? They try for another girl. Yeah. So they pretty much do the same thing. Carradine and his friend, right?
Yeah.
But then she gets in Bill Adler's car and they drive away. And that's Sally. And if you know anything about the man who wrote The Van, he's going to get Sally one way or another.
Target acquired.
Yeah. He's a sexual terminator. And it's just da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. Because there's a part coming up where he goes, I like that girl, Sally. And his friend at one point goes like, don't you like that girl? And he's like, I never said that. I never said that. Oh, what are you talking about? It's like it's
all the
robot
signs
senses took over.
All the signs are showing.
Yeah, and then all of a sudden he has a new target. And then Carradine and his friend, they go to another girl, and they're like, well, okay, so then they stop their car, and his friend's standing. So Jesse's standing on the hood of the car with Carradine, and he goes, oh, look, it's that one girl. I'd really like to get her in the back of my van. And I write, I know that in the 70s, that's probably fine, but by today's standards, that's something you can't say.
Yeah.
I don't think you can even get away with that on like an internet dating profile as your first
I can't
message.
wait to get you in the back of my van.
No.
Swipe left.
Yeah, they think it's a Buffalo Bills situation. And so at this point, I just write, what the hell is going on? Are they just going to like try and assault women until one of them relents?
One of them gives up.
Oh, and they do. Yeah. Because the next scene is them pulling up into a parking lot, and they go, get in our car to this girl, and she goes, no. So they just get out of the car and force her inside.
They kidnap this girl.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pick her up and drag her and grab her and throw her in the car.
And then her friend just laughs and gets
Like,
inside the car.
Oh, boys will be boys.
Yeah. Then they just drive off like idiots, and I mean like idiots.
Yeah.
Because Robert Carradine he's driving off cliffs. like literally driving off cliffs, and they're like bouncing around. And Christine, by the way, he's just like going like, today's a good day to die, right? I mean, good as day as any. I mean, right?
Jesus, man.
And he's just like, like doing this creepy laugh, and they're just like, okay, Mr. Cryptkeeper, like, can you please fucking calm it down? He's doing slaloms through stuff. He's just going all over the place. And they are terrified.
Yeah.
The girls are like, we can't wait until the car stops and we can just run. Unfortunately, he's driven us to the middle of nowhere where like the orphan camp from the last movie we covered was, or the sets of Dukes of Hazzard. At any moment, the General Lee could be making a jump.
Yeah, they are out in farm country.
And they park on a rickety bridge, and then they're like, oh, hold on. By the way, while they're driving, Jesse's in the back, and he's trying to get busy with the one girl who's not interested. And he just looks up at Robert Carradine and goes, hey, this broad doesn't want it. Can we switch? And about 50 miles an hour, they switch driving the car. And Carradine gets in the back seat while this guy's driving.
Oh, my God.
They did their own stunts.
And the girls are screaming, going, please don't, please don't. That's when they then stop on a bridge in the middle of nowhere. The friend Jesse and the girl in the front start making out.
Yeah.
Who's this girl in the front? Is this the waitress, or is it just that some
I
other
thought it was the
girl?
other blonde. Not the waitress, but the other blonde.
So it's Sally, because she got in the car with Adler.
Oh, it must... Oh,
How many
it must
blondes
be
are in this movie?
too many blondes. Too many plain-looking white girls, 70s blondes.
You know, because I couldn't keep track of anybody in this film.
No, and like this is a real, swingers type of situation. Like somebody's just dropping keys at a fishbowl, because man, they are just cycling through each other. Like, again, AIDS is never invented at this point in time. Nobody fucked the monkey.
Yeah.
So many fluids are being exchanged in this high school. It's terrifying.
I wonder if this was actually like how it was.
Just like,
If it
I
was
kidnapped
like that,
you, so you got to make out with me for 5 minutes.
like because it comes up so much in these movies.
You're right.
That
Yeah.
is this just weird like middle-aged LA screenwriter fantasy?
This is how we did it. This is
Or
how
is
we
this
did
really
it,
like-
boys.
Because I mean, like if like Fast Times at Ridgemont High, like if you've read the book, like it's kind of like that, but not quite as bad. And I'm just curious, like what's reality and what's like.
So
fiction at this
somebody's
point.
like, you also got a girl pregnant at the softball field?
Yeah.
I just did that last week. Yeah, holy shit.
well, do you want to like take them at the same time for the abortion? Like save on gas because it's the 70s and it's
Woo,
gas.
Supreme Court.
Roe v. Wade. What? Roe.
Oh, feet, Wade, whoa.
Oh, God.
Okay.
So 70s, were they as slutty and
We should have listeners chime in
Sex
with
up.
that.
I don't
do
know.
we have,
I feel
if
like
we have
Mr.
any
Crown
do we have any listeners who are now in
You
their
know,
50s
actually,
who want
maybe
to
we
share
don't
their
wanna hear
70s
from them.
sex
Yeah,
stories?
we don't want to.
Please stay home.
Speak
Leave.
for yourselves.
Let me tell
So
you,
tweet
boys,
me
this
at-
is how it was, okay? Everybody's talking now about how you get in all this trouble. This is how it was. You bring a girl into your car, and because she's now on your property, you could just
It's like
do
that Florida law
Yeah.
about standing your ground in your house.
Exactly.
If
As
a
long
woman
as
is in
she's
your
there.
house, you can stand.
And the laws don't apply because you're a sovereign citizen.
Yes, a car is technically a house. It's your property.
You're not driving, you're traveling.
Yeah, for all purposes, your own country, so you can do what you want in there. And so at one point, the girl in the back seat, when Carradine tries to make a move, she gets out of the window and runs. And I just write, "Run,
Yeah.
run, go far away." But no, she just stops after 10 feet, and then they throw rocks at the other car because the people are making out, and they're like, "We want to go home." And so for the rest of the movie, because I never find out what this girl's name is, I just call her Rock Girl.
Everyone in this movie is just so nameless. Just so throwaway.
There's Waitress, Rock Girl, and Sally.
Yeah.
And I don't know Robert Carradine's name. I just call him
I
Carradine.
don't, well, there's a Johnny in this movie. One
I
of
guess
these
that's
people-
Carradine. Yeah.
I don't
Does
know.
Bill- what's Bill
I
Adler's
hold
name?
on. I took a screenshot of the credits.
Right? Bill Adler's name is Dale or Dwayne.
Dwayne. Yeah.
Dwayne.
Okay.
I took a screenshot of the end credits just because I know this would come up because I'm
Okay.
terrible with facing the names.
Now
Okay.
this movie, guys, gets into Christine territory because we cut to a neighborhood. And Robert Carradine pulls up in his car with the girls in it and his friend Jesse. And they see Bill Adler and Sally. And Robert Carradine says, "Suck my shorts." Which I go, I think you got that wrong. And then he gets mad and tries to kill Bill Adler and Sally.
Chases him down in his car.
Not only, but explain to me how he chases them down.
He drives on the sidewalk.
Full speed plows through on the sidewalk. And I mean, this is fast.
Yeah.
Full speed. Bill Adler's running at full speed going, "Please don't fucking run me over. This is my first movie. This guy's legit crazy." He's like, "The car just took me over. I can't handle."
This is probably the last day of shooting they did because of the stunt.
And then I write, Carradine is going to kill somebody before the end of this movie's over. At multiple points, I'm like, he's like a monkey man. He just, he's like doing handstands and like jumping around on beams and planking. He's
Planking.
He's doing all sorts of weird shit. Parkour.
He's an innovator.
Yeah, it's basically an "if I can't have you, nobody will" situation. I was like, if he's either going to get Sally or everyone who's seen her is going to die.
I'll pay.
So Adler is running full speed, and eventually this ends in a fist fight. And I write, well deserved. But
it's the worst fist. It's like a real fist fight because it's like shitty.
Yeah.
Like these are like they just kind of throw themselves at each other and roll around and pull on their shirts.
Yeah.
And then I just keep writing, Carradine is the bad guy.
Yeah.
He's the bad guy. Like, he's the antagonist in this movie. Like, I'm assuming Bill Adler's the good guy.
Yeah, because we spent so much screen time on Carradine. It's like, are we supposed to side with this guy or not?
Bill Adler just has a girlfriend.
Yeah.
You want her. You can't kill them because you want to have sex with that girl. That's not justified. And that's when Carradine, after the fight, and an old man at one point just walks out of the back of an alley, looks at them, and then just walks away. The fight just ends, and the girls are all standing there like, these guys are crazy, which we already knew. Thank God we're out of that car. And then Carradine just leans onto the hood, and it's just da-da-da-da-da.
Give me clothes, boots, on your motorcycle.
Yeah, he goes,
basically.
I like that Sally girl. Then we cut to cheerleader tryouts. Nothing happens. It's 5 minutes of cheerleaders trying out. Runtime,
And a lot of oblique angles of...
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Then we go to the burger place, which is the only other scene.
I swear to God, I thought we were going to be treated to another shot of Bill Adler treating himself to a burger in someone else's mouth at the same time.
Oh, just like in Van Nuys Boulevard, huh? No, the friend... so Jesse pulls up in his yellow van that he wants to abduct women into, which is a pre-straight arrow.
Yes.
Some girl comes and takes his order, and he convinces her to go in the back of his van. I'm like, is this the girl he made out with before? Is this a new blonde girl? I can't tell.
Yeah, I thought it was the same one, Sue-Ann.
I think in the
it's
70s, they just kind of rotated them through.
They're like, are you that girl I made out with earlier?
Yeah.
Not even Jesse, sure.
Yeah, he's like,
Did
did we fuck?
I kidnap you?
I feel like I've been in you, but
Are we in a class together, or did we just fuck?
Does it burn when you pee?
Yeah. Do you also? Okay, we know each other. Yeah, you too. So then she's like, okay, and then they just fuck in the back of his van while people are waiting for their orders to be taken. My favorite part, though, is the guy. There's like these guys sitting in a car with a tray, and they're waiting to pay their fucking bill, and the guy's like honking, and he goes, fuck this bitch, and then just hits his tray off his car and drives off.
Good on him. You know?
Then, where is that stupid bitch? That's what he says. Oh, boy. Then she comes out of the van and, like, scurries around to serve everyone, and she's dropping food everywhere. At one point, the chef gets so bored, he eats one of the customers' burgers, and she's dropping food everywhere. Then we just cut to Jesse, and he shakes his head like, women. Then we go to the school parking lot. Carradine has arrived in Christine looking for a fresh kill, is what I write. Then he's at school, and he runs up to Sally, okay? And he goes, hey, look, I didn't mean to kill you the other day, right? Like, honestly, actually, I just want to fuck you. But I just, it was all meant for your boyfriend. Like, I wouldn't mind him dying in the grill of my car. But I like you. And you're just, an innocent bystander in this whole thing. So what do you say? And she goes, I think you're crazy. And he goes, yeah, maybe I am. And then does a handstand and starts walking around on his hands. And he's like, how about now? And she's like, okay, yeah, you've won me over. You've won me over,
It's that
monkey
easy.
man.
That easy.
This movie, like, it's confounding.
I'm willing to bet that Carradine was told to ad lib because so much of it comes off as like ad libs. Like
I
he's
don't
just
doubt
told
that.
to like up the crazy,
yeah.
like just be kind of wild, be kind of crazy guy.
They had cocaine in 1976, right?
Yeah.
Because that's the only explanation. That or LSD. Like, like this guy is gone. I mean, Carradine, they said action, and he went into a different world and just, you know. I mean, to see this and then see Revenge of the Nerds, it's like, man, these are two different people.
Yeah.
Off the meds, I guess. I don't know.
Possibly, yeah.
So then we go to a parking lot. So Jesse tries to steal a parking lot from the rock girl, and then she hits him with her purse, and then he lets her have the
parking
parking spot. But then we cut to them both walking into a class, and he smacks her like hard on the ass with his books. And I'm like, that's there's no world where that's appropriate.
Mr. Crown's world.
Yeah, come on, honey, just books, not even the hand.
It's an economics book.
So then we go to the classroom. Something you'll never understand. Am I right?
I was waiting for that.
So then we go to a classroom. So we're in the class. The whole gang's in this class. It's the first day of school, and all these random fart noises are happening when the teacher's trying to teach.
Oh, it's what's her name, Mrs. She has like a almost funny name, like Mrs. Prickett or something like that.
Yeah. And then, so it's revealed that she's sitting on a giant whoopee cushion. And from my experience, whoopee cushions don't just last for 5 minutes.
They are a one and done.
They give one whoopee,
Yeah.
and you're done.
One whoopee.
I mean, maybe it's like a time release whoopee cushion. You know,
But these kids, they're dying.
Yeah.
Dying. And she's just playing it off like it's no big deal. But then she holds up the whoopee cushion. She goes, who did this? And Robert Carradine stands up and goes, it was Bill Adler. And he, again, looks and he goes, what the fuck? Like, what did I do to deserve this? This madman trying to kill me and blame whoopies on me.
Yeah, where I don't know why we're supposed to root for
Carradine.
because he's
I don't
got
get
top
it.
billing in this movie. Top
He's
billing.
he's a fucking madman.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
is, like, I thought we were watching the prequel to Maniac. You know, like, he's gonna have a woman's head at some point. Like, this is terrifying. So she tries to teach, but Carradine stands up on a desk and starts pissing out a window.
that is not even prank behavior. That is a crazy person.
Yes, because he goes, teacher, and she's like, shut the fuck up, I'm trying to teach. And he goes, all right, and then pushes Sally's desk up towards the window, stands on top of it, takes his dick out, pisses out a window on children.
Yeah, this is apparently like a high school and elementary school because they're like
What's
children
the
outside
grade
the
level
window.
here?
Like, he's now committed a sex crime.
Yeah.
He's pissed on underage girls.
I've never been to a school that's K through 12.
He's R. Kelly this shit.
He pissed on girls trying to jump rope. And then people are laughing, and the teacher, it cuts to the teacher being like, oh my God.
Yeah. Oh yeah. She's the appropriate reaction.
Yeah, she is the appropriate reaction.
Yeah.
Cut to, the old trope. He's scrubbing urinals with a toothbrush, and then his friend Jesse comes in and he's like, they're so unoriginal with their punishments. And he's like, yeah. And then he's all, hey, why don't we go throw around that football, huh? Throw around the old pigskin. Because we're football players. That's what we do while we're having fun. And he's like, yeah, fuck this punishment. And then they just go out to the field and throw the football. And then the coach just comes up. So the coach from Major League comes up and he goes, Jesse, don't throw the football like that. You're going to hurt your arm. And he goes, my arm's fine. He goes, really? Well, drop and give me like 1,000 push-ups. And he does. And he's like, does your arm hurt now? And he's like, no. And he's like, well, it will. Okay.
I was hoping the coach was gonna just dislocate his arm right there on the spot.
Yeah, like kind of kick his arm out from under him
Yeah.
while he's doing a push-up.
Oh,
But I'm
yeah.
like, why is this deserved? to have some sort of bizarre abusive coach
Yeah,
in this movie?
You're trying to injure your star player. on the
Everyone
team.
in this movie is shitty. Everyone is a shitty.
Everyone,
yeah.
everyone, except for Bill Adler. Like, at one point, Bill Adler tries to kill somebody, and I'm like, just do it. Like, seriously, you would be helping the world. Because I imagine somehow Robert Carradine getting his way into some sort of situation where there's a red button in front of him that can take out something, and he presses it on a dare. So this scene, by the way, just ends. Like many scenes in this movie, we just cut before it gets boring, or it finishes. You know, we go back.
Well, all Crown International films go by the mantra: "We shoot it, we use it." That's why I've decided.
We don't lose anything.
No.
You know? There's nothing left on the cutting room floor. Nothing. Except for that missing reel from Swamp Meat.
It's either under the head of a homeless man or being used as a rotor for a car.
DeVito used it as a toilet one day on set.
I'm doing a bit.
How about this one? I shit on it.
Rhea, check this out.
And Mr. Crowd would laugh. I love you. I love this guy.
It's like a cookie dough effect. He shits through the reel.
Like Play-Doh, like the haircut.
So we go to the burger place. Carradine and Jesse are eating food in their van looking for the next victim. And that's when Sally and the rock girl show up. And I'm like, oh, I didn't know they were friends. I thought she was friends with the waitress.
Yeah.
But okay.
All right.
I don't know which blonde is which at this point. And that's when he's like, hey, you like that Sally girl. You should go talk to her. And he goes, what? I never said that. Did I say that? He's like, no, I would have never said that. And then he's like, okay, well, I'll go talk to her if you're too nervous. I'm like, wait, for the first 30 minutes of this movie, Robert Carradine is not only fearless, he's a kidnapper.
Yeah.
And he tried to kill people. And now all of a sudden he's like, I'm too nervous to talk to a girl? Huh.
It's common psychological, sociopathic behavior.
Yeah. And so Carradine, so his friend goes over to the car and he's like, hey, Sally, you should go in that van with Carradine so he can, semi-kiss rape you.
Kiss rape.
And she's all, okay, it sounds fun. And then Jesse gets in the car and they have a real rush hour where they fight over the radio station.
Oh,
And that's
it's a good bit.
it's where Chris Tucker got it, I think. You know?
Chris Tucker, huge fan of Pom Pom Girl.
I saw this in a movie once. Real fucking funny.
I got Jackie Chan to do the carpet.
Jackie and I watched Pom Pom Girls before we filmed this. I was like, you and me, we're just like those guys. Peanut butter and jelly, you and me.
Oh, God.
So that's what I write. What happened to that girl he made out with at the start of the movie? Does she still work here? Because then Jesse tries to make out with this one girl, and she's like, no. And he's like, no, come on. And she's like, no. And then he kiss rapes her.
Yeah.
And she just lays on the horn, and he gets all pissy.
Yeah.
Because here's the other thing, is that Jesse is a little bitch. He has some emotional freakouts that are just, bipolar doesn't even begin to explain this guy. Yeah. He just, if you deny this man sex, he becomes the worst person on earth. And he's just a fucking monster.
Well, he's a 17-year-old guy.
Let's give him a little bit of leeway, you know?
This guy, holds a grudge. At some point when they break up, whether it's 1 month or 4 years or 10 years later, he's going to bring up something. Remember that time when you let me change the radio station? Yeah. Well, just so you know, I pissed in your fucking radio, bitch. And she'd be like, what? I don't even remember that. When was this?
I had a radio?
In high school?
What?
High school, Jesse?
15 years ago?
Best year of my life. I was a star quarterback. You ruined me.
Yeah. I fucked your tape player. You ruined my arm. I was going to get drafted. Yeah. Okay.
I could have gone all pro, but no, I threw it all away on you slut. Just take your 8 tracks and get out.
Jesse, not in front of the children.
I don't even think Bobby's mine.
Oh my God. And so then Carradine and Sally make out in the van, and I write, I guess that's settled. The whole chasing. Yeah. It's all done.
Yeah.
again, this is Bill Adler's girlfriend. And she's like, oh, I'll make out with that crazy man with the handstand and the death by car. Sure. I mean, maybe she makes out with him to not be murdered. It's kind of
It's a real NC's Ansari situation.
Oh my God.
Sometimes it's easier just to stay.
Yeah, it's really like a everybody who comes in contact with them, it becomes a Stockholm syndrome. They're like, I just got to get out of this before my throat gets slit. Because we
gotta
all
survive.
We all know what he did with that other girl, and he got away with it.
Yeah.
So then the friend storms out of Rock Girl's car, all pissed because she won't give it up, and the scene just cuts to a random tug of war.
Yeah.
For 5 minutes, we watch people tug of war into a pit of mud, and then guess what, guys? It cuts.
Yeah.
The whole cast is here.
Yeah.
The whole cast. Like, it's almost like they filmed the rap party. And they just cut, and we'll never get any context. We just go to the rival school parking lot where Robert Carradine is now spray painting letters onto the back of their cars. And they're like, Robert, we got to go. And he's like, no.
The E's not right. He's got to work on.
He's a real artiste.
He's
Yeah.
a fucking psychopath.
Yeah.
He sits there as the other players are running up to him. They're going to beat the shit out of him. And he's like, no, and he's real Van Gogh in this, you know. He'd rather cut off his fucking ear, you know. And he's sitting there doing his paint, and then he just runs. They just drive off, and again,
He has no
scene ends.
Yeah, he has no context of his well-being for any sense of danger. Sociopath.
Yeah, so everything that happens from this point on is his fault for not like just leaving when everyone else wanted to. Because if they left when they wanted to, the other players wouldn't know specifically that it was them. So now everything else that happens is because he had to be an artiste about it.
Yeah, well,
He is a shitbag.
Every problem in this movie is because he just won't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
Right.
Ever.
Right.
Whether it's a girl saying, no, I don't want to have sex with you. And he goes, now, not only will I have sex with you, but it is now my personal mission to have sex with you and ruin your fucking life.
Yeah. He's like the most extreme. Well, he's like a radicalized version of Bobby in a way.
Oh, yeah. This is Bobby to the extreme.
Yeah.
We go, yeah, it's like they're like,
It's Bobby without a redemption arc.
We know you want to write another movie, but you got to tone it down. No more Robert Carradine. Like, we can't hire this guy. You know, classroom, Sally is now with Carradine, and Adler looks pissed because, rightfully so, he was her boyfriend one day ago, and now Robert Carradine has stolen his girlfriend. And not only has he stolen his girlfriend, he's now made it his mission to ruin Bill Adler's life.
Yeah, he's a real dick about it.
Yeah, and he's like, hey, guess what, Adler? I fucked her. Suck my shorts. And he's like, yeah, that's great. I'm trying not to get pissed here. Then horns honk, and like basically what happens is the other team attacks them by piling all their cars into the middle of the parking lot and removing a tire for each car. And then a bunch of students just run out to see that. And then the kids, I just rate these kids and their pranks, you know? Then they just drive away.
That reminds me of like a prank. The senior. Do you remember your senior school class prank when you guys graduated?
No.
Oh.
I wasn't invested enough to care.
Neither was I, but someone took it upon themselves to write the vice principal's name, which was Bill. And we had this giant part of the school you can see from like outside for like at least, you know, good 300 feet past the property. And they wrote, "Eat Dick Bill." And I was like, bravo.
Not a prank.
Bravo.
Not a prank.
Yeah, that's just fucked up, man.
I don't remember what my senior class's prank was, but I think a couple classes before mine, their prank was they somehow got a Volkswagen Bug on the roof of the library.
Holy shit.
Yeah, no one could figure out how they did it, but yeah, there was a car on the roof of the library.
A car on the roof.
So I'm like,
that's pretty
all
good.
right. Yeah, I feel like that's a
crap.
pretty good prank, because
Yeah.
then you have like, you can leave it, or, you know, you have to figure out how to get this car down.
While I was in high school, somebody would have said to me like, "Oh, did you hear about the senior prank?" And I would have been like, "I don't give a fuck. I'm too cool for that
Right.
shit."
Yeah.
Then would you have taken a drag off a cigarette?
No.
And then like
I would
pop the collar on your trench coat?
I would have
It's
put
the
down
back.
my skateboard for my skateboard backpack. and rode away like a real badass.
Off to BB Park he went.
And then I would have fall. Would have hit a rock and fell.
Fucking trucks.
I've been like, fucking rocks, fucking shit. Then we cut to later, and for some reason they want Bill Adler to hang out with them.
Yeah, I didn't understand that.
They're like, hey, Bill, come hang out with us and be friends. And he's like, the fuck? He says, why would I want to hang out with a bunch of jock assholes? And I'm like, yeah, you're right. And they're like, well, fuck you anyways. Here's some salt for your wounds, you bitch. And they just drive off. He's like, all right. So, guys, this is when we get into felony territory.
Oh, Jesus.
Where the first real hard proof of a felony is committed. All those kiss rapes, maybe you get away with them. But this, we go to a fire station, and they steal not a fire truck that would be in L.A., but an old-timey fire truck like Disneyland has.
Oh, this
Main Street,
truck.
USA.
Oh, my God, yeah.
What the fuck is this?
Do they just leave the keys in the visor of fire trucks like this?
Yeah,
or was it
from what I could see, they went in and stole the Model T fire truck.
Yeah, did they just like turn the crank and it just off and went?
Do the crank at the front.
And a fireman watches them do it.
Yeah.
Like a guy's standing there, and they drive off with the fire truck, and he's like, I'll be.
Must be the Explorer program.
I didn't even know it ran. And they go to, and don't worry, they're going to start like a race riot or anything. But they do go.
I wasn't worried about that. Not until you said something. Now I'm deeply worried.
Well, I was thinking that because I'm watching this going like, well, Robert Carradine's a madman, and he's driving a fire truck down the streets of LA going to go hose people. I'm like,
He's driving to Watts.
what the fuck are you doing, man? No, they go and hose the opposing team and the cheerleaders and anybody else who gets in their way, I guess. Yeah.
Great prank.
I was like, uh-huh. And at some point we cut to the cops, and somebody calls up the police chief, and he's like, shut the fuck, nobody would ever steal a fire truck. And then he sees the fire truck go across his window, and he goes, fuck me.
Classic.
And then there's a big long car chase where the chief of police is chasing Robert Carradine and his friends. This should be the end.
Yeah.
This is a real Thelma and Louise. There's only one way it's going to end. But no, they turn, they turn the hoses back on the cops.
Yeah.
Right?
It's like, it just reminded me of Grand Theft Auto 3 because I would do that with the fire truck in that game.
Yeah.
I'm going to get 5 stars. Bring those cops. Hose them down.
They start hosing down the cop's windshield until he crashes into a field. They drive off, and his reaction is like, kids. What are you going to do?
Boys will be boys.
Yeah. Then they park the fire truck in a random field and run away. I was half expecting it to explode.
Me too. I thought it was going to catch fire.
If Robert Carradine goes,
And so much for the evidence, huh?
He'd have like some big Acme box that comes out and goes, and then it's just,
Well, most of those older firerunners have axes. I wonder if he took one.
oh yeah. Hey Sally, you want to come to my van now? I gotta say that if you ever were to make Bugs Bunny into a teenager and into a person, it would be this man.
Oh my God.
Like he's a horrible, like Bugs Bunny's a terrible person.
Bugs is a dick.
Yeah, he's just Robert Carradine and Pom Pom Girls. That's all it is. He's just a live action Bugs. Yeah, so then we go to the school and the principal is giving a speech. He's like, okay, so guys, it's been day 1 and this school, we're fucked up, guys.
Again, the passage of time, it feels like a week has gone by watching this movie.
So guys, it's been 1 day. There have been multiple attempted rapes that have come into the office as complaints. Not good. Somebody stole the fire truck and tried to hose down the other team, and then there was a burned lynched man.
An effigy of a lynched.
All we found was a skeleton. We don't know if that was a man before.
We're still waiting for test results.
The bones are real.
And that was all before home period.
And he goes, guys, let's calm it down, okay? So let's just, whoever is in charge, by the way, a school of maybe 20 people, because apparently the whole student body is out
Yeah.
there. It's one line of kids. And he goes, anybody who's involved in that, please step forward. They all step forward
Yeah.
and laugh. And I'm like, no, just turn Carradine in. Seriously, before one of you dies, turn him in. Then we just cut to the cafeteria and...
That would have been great if during that lineup you saw those like kindergartners next to them too.
Like it's seniors
Okay.
and first graders.
guys, somebody pissed
Yeah.
on sixth graders. The fuck? Day one.
It's not even Thanksgiving break yet.
They're blowing off the summer steam. That's what they're doing.
Blowing off the... Yeah, that's what they say to the cops. You know, there's just a little summer steam. You know?
They'll get back into the routine. They'll be fine.
Yeah, you gotta walk before you run.
So we cut to the cafeteria and we witness... Guys, it might be a Guinness World Record, the world's slowest food fight.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
As Robert Carradine and Bill Adler slowly just take turns food fighting themselves. So, like, there's a part where Carradine, he goes, can I borrow the salt? And then puts it on Bill Adler's head.
Yeah.
And then Bill Adler shoves a ketchup-filled fry up his nose. Well deserved.
Yeah.
Then Robert Carradine takes a burger, puts a bunch of mustard on it, and smacks it on his head. And then Bill Adler pours like soup down Robert Carradine's pants, which he lets him do.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh yeah. And he's enjoying it.
Carradine puts crotch out. He goes crotch out, and Bill Adler grabs the front of his shorts and pours this down his pants. And Carradine's reaction is like sexual. And then the bell rings and it's over.
And Carradine's about to like pour soup on
Yeah.
Adler now.
By the way, yeah, he was like, now your turn for the soup crotch.
I was waiting for him to turn around with just like a knife.
I mean, can you imagine Carradine walking to his next class dripping split pea all over the ground from his pants and the teacher being like, what did you do now?
Literally day one.
Like, this is day one. By the way, what I've just described maybe took, 1 minute? Scene's about 5.
Yeah. I do like that scene. That is probably the funniest scene to me.
Yeah, it's the best thing.
Yeah.
Then, guys, what do we cut to? Run time,
Oh, yeah.
run time, where we watch people just tumble down a beach. Like a
Oh,
big
yeah.
hill on the beach.
The steepest hill I've ever seen of sand in my life.
Yeah. And they're like, we're children. And they just fall down they just roll down the sand. And they're just
Oh,
teens.
good times.
Just teens in love, guys.
Yeah. Yep.
Another 5 minutes wasted. Yep. And I wrote the friend and the Jesse and the Rock Girl. A real will they, won't they? Oh, no, it's a will they because they make out. Then we go to a dirt bike race. Guys, I'm like,
Why
this
are we
has
here?
become a Van Nuys Boulevard
Yeah.
where we're just going wherever the
Yeah.
camera like takes us, you know?
Where
They're
can
like,
we film today?
Can we film here? And they're like, what? And they go, yes, if you don't say anything, it's a yes. And they film the cast looking through a chain link fence with like barbed wire around the top at a motorcycle race that at first you're like, they're not there.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
No, then we cut to them magically in the middle of the fucking track. Like, you ever seen like a rally video where a car crashes into a bunch of people? It's like they're sitting on the track looking terrified, by the way. They're like, are you sure? Action! Just sit, stop being a bitch, Carradine. Just sit there. All right, cut. Now come back. They're not going to stop the race, so just go when there's no... Hold up. Okay, now.
Now.
No, wait!
Two of you. Just two of you come over.
Leave the girls. So, does anybody else understand what happens next?
Do they steal dirt bikes?
Yeah.
Commit another felony where they steal dirt bikes and then go on a joyride, and which I'm assuming we don't see the end because it just cuts. That they burn the evidence. And I just read at this point, I'm like, I think this movie's going to end like Breathless. Like, if you've ever seen Breathless, I think this movie's going to end the same way. It's feeling very Godard to me, this movie. Like, starting to think there is something like people are going to atone for their sins at the end of this movie.
I hope so.
I imagine they just drive the dirt bikes out to the fire truck, and eventually there's just a pile of stolen vehicles.
Like, can you imagine a part where they do get pulled over by the police and Robert Carradine just shoots them, and they're like, "The fuck, dude? We were not prepared for that." And he's like, "Oh, you know, boys will be boys. Am I right?" And they're like, "No."
You really want to go to jail?
And he's like, "Whatever." Jail.
Oh, we got a big game to go to.
Jail just sounds like a roof over my head and some free food, you know?
3 square, Mike.
So then we go back to school. I want to see Carradine's family life. I feel like this might be
That's the
Dugan's
question.
kid or something.
That's the question.
Like, I feel like it's a bad home. If he...
Yeah.
You think maybe he also lives on that orphan farm?
You're referring to an episode that they may or may not have even heard yet.
So we go to the school, and I write, the last 10 minutes of this movie were nothing. So let's continue that trend as the friend girl runs up to Rocker and he goes, "Let's go to the beach right now." So Jesse says that, and she goes, "No, I got class."
I go to class.
And he's like, "Okay, fine, I'll go myself."
Whatever.
Walks away and he's like, "Bitch." Breath. And end scene. And I write, okay.
Yeah.
Then Adler comes up to Carradine and Sally, and he pulls out a knife, and he like clumsily tries to open a butterfly knife. He's like, "I think I know how this works," and he's like shoving it towards Carradine's face, and she's like, "Oh, you boys and your knives."
I would have been terrified to be Carradine on that part of that set.
I am so happy I didn't live in the 70s
Yeah.
because life was rough.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, man.
Knives everywhere.
like-
Seniors and first graders going to school together. It's fucked up world.
Jesus. I mean, parents are afraid now. Fucking A. Kids are committing felonies and nearly... This is like fucking City of God. In L.A. in the 70s, just trying to go to high school in the Valley. No, I mean, these people probably live in Malibu.
Well, yeah. Well, I think wasn't the alternate title to this Palisades High? So it's Pacific Palisades, so they're all rich kids.
Oh, my God.
Oh, yes.
So Adler looks like he's going to stab Carradine in the face, and we can only hope that he throat slits him, ear to ear. Get it over with. But no, Sally takes a knife from him, and I just write, I don't understand 70s relationships. Like, it's just, like I said, a rotating fishbowl of keys.
Yeah.
Like, everybody in the beginning of the school year, like, they just put their keys in a big bowl, and they go, all right, everybody's going to get fucked eventually, so we might as well just...
Yeah.
It's all okay with me. It's like signing your yearbook back in the day. It's like
You're
instead
right,
of bringing out the pen, you bring out the dick. You're like, did we ever meet?
Yeah.
Let's just go to the van for a minute, right? There's like 2 days left in the school year. Let's try. Let's feel it out because
Yeah.
maybe there's something there.
See you next summer.
Yeah. See you next year.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Depending on the blood tests.
Yeah, I feel like people would have conversations. They're like, "Oh yeah, I fucked that guy. He's great. Yeah, he's nice. He's nice. No, I haven't fucked him yet." That's how people talk. They're like, "Do you know David?" No, I don't feel like he's been in me, but I don't.
Yeah.
I don't really remember.
Maybe in a dark room I might
Can you
recognize
explain
him.
him? Oh no, definitely. Burn for a week. So then we go to a parking lot, and the waitress girl comes up to the van to visit Jesse, and she's like, "Hey, why are you all depressed?" This is a school parking lot, right? And she's like, "Why are you all depressed?" And he's like, "'Cause I am. I'm deep and I'm a bitch.
I've got feelings.
Yeah." And they get in the van and they make out, and then we cut to a class, and Rock Girl and Carradine are like sitting by a window, and she's like, "Didn't Jesse say he was gonna go to the beach?" And Carradine's like, "Well, that's his van." And then
Fuck if I know.
just fucking a girl walks out of the back of the van, and Jesse does, and she goes out to the parking lot, doesn't confront him about that.
She doesn't see the girl get out of the
No, yeah, because that
Oh,
happens.
okay.
Yeah, before she looks over and sees it. She just sees Adler getting out.
So the friend Jesse, he gets out of the van, right?
Yeah.
And she goes out to the parking lot, and she's like, "Jesse, let's go to the beach." And he's like, "Well, I want to go now."
Already busted a nut.
And she's like, "I don't understand. What's the problem?" And he's like, "Well, you didn't want to go before. Why you go now?" And she's like, "Well, what does it matter? Let's go right now." And he's like, "Yeah, whatever. I'm deep." And then just runs off. It's already like a little bitch. Just runs off into the distance.
Yeah.
Like, he often does this. So the character of Jesse, instead of driving away, he just full speeds runs like Forrest Gump out of scenes. And he just, at some point, he's got to turn around. And I feel like that's the most awkward point when he gets done running and he's like, oh, God damn it. Now I got to run back.
Well, it's like that awkward running scene in Get Out where the guy just does cuts like a 90-degree angle out of nowhere. Like, what the fuck was that? Like, I was dying.
Can you imagine just seeing this guy running, this kid, high school kid running at full speed, then he stops, turns around and just runs the other way, and you're like, huh, running a relay or
Must
something?
be in training.
Is the LA Marathon soon? Then the principal gives a speech in front of a pep rally and he's like, hey guys, so last year there was a big problem with kids smoking pot, and I guess that's illegal, but I mean, I'm good with it and all.
Yeah.
You know, this isn't 2018, it's not legal yet, but you can't smoke pot at football games, and there's going to be undercover police officers here, and they're all just like, narc. Narc, bitch. And he's like, well, I am the principal. Please show me a little bit of respect. Then he goes, narc, bitch, sir. Then he goes, all right, everybody, your class president. And then some guy just comes up and goes, hey, everybody, who's ready for milk in the machines? You know, who's ready for chocolate milk in the fountain?
It's like a James Brown concert.
He's like, put your hands together. And then we just cut. And I'm like, well, that guy used his 3 seconds to his fullest.
He made an impact.
Yeah.
Like, the fuck?
Demo reel complete.
And then we just cut below the bleachers, and the cheerleaders and the football guys are there. And they're like, yeah, we play football. And then they just run out. And instead of having an actual pep rally, they're all now just sitting on the bleachers. and the principal comes up and he goes, so this lady's going to come up and sing a song, but she just conducts everybody in singing America the Beautiful.
Yeah.
And during this, Carradine makes out with Sally in front of Bill Adler, makes sure he sees, and then grabs her ass repeatedly, and he goes like, this is mine now. Yeah? This is your favorite cheek, Adler. Mine now. And then Adler they just get in a fist fight, and the scene just cuts. Doing their own stunts.
Well, the lady just still trying to conduct while the fight's happening.
I do think that there's maybe legitimate beef between Adler and Carradine because they really don't like each other, like in this movie, and it looks very real, especially when they're fighting. Yeah, like it doesn't look like a movie fight, like you're saying, Tanner. It looks like you're in a fist fight with somebody. Then we just go to the lockers, and Jesse's like throwing hundreds of papers out of his locker, and he's like, fuck school, fuck homework, I'm just acting like a bitch. And then the rock girl comes up and she's like, oh, are you like mad, Jesse? And he's like, yeah, I'm mad because the script told me there's got to be conflict. And then she's like, oh, well, I'm sorry. And then they just make out, and I go, problem solved.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, there we go. Then the coach shows up and he tells Jesse, he goes, hey, Jesse, the script told me that I got to put more conflict in this, so you shouldn't have sex with that girl. You should break up with her. And he's like, okay. And then that scene ends with zero context, and we're like, huh. Then we go to the burger place, and Carradine and Jesse are hanging out. He orders a burger from his side piece. So Jesse goes up to the window. He's like, hey, you, girl, burger. And she's like, well, it's good to see you too. And he's like, yeah, I don't care, burger. And she's like, are we going to go to your van today? He goes, no, I'm getting serious with this one girl. I'm a one-woman type of guy. I took my keys out of the bowl. Sorry. And she's like, okay, well, can we talk? And he goes, no, just the burger. And she hands him a burger, and then he walks over to her trash can and throws it away. And I'm like, dude, power move, right?
75 cents that cost him.
I mean, this is a real neg.
Do you think he wrote the game?
Hey, watch this, Robert Carradine. Fucking throwing it away.
Yeah.
And Carradine's like, dude, I was hungry. I would have eaten that. And he's like,
you ordered that burger for me.
And he's like, don't be a bitch, dude. You got to learn this is what chicks want. Should have spit in her face before I threw it away. Again, these are our main characters.
Yeah.
But this is probably my favorite scene in the movie is they go, oh, hey, here are our two girlfriends. The car just pulls up and fucking jumps the curb and hits them. Like, they almost die. Yeah. They have to leap out of the way because these girls did not brake. It doesn't look intentional. It looks like they were like,
Yeah.
what's the gas? Oh, fuck. And
They didn't know how to drive a stick, maybe.
oh, no. Yeah, they popped the clutch over that. So they almost kill their boyfriends. And then they ordered ice cream and they're eating it like animals. These people are animals. Everybody is a fucking animal. Like, it's just a cesspool of people.
It's just a human petri dish.
It really is. It's just like, we've watched so many movies where the 70s look endearing, and now this is the truth.
The mask has been pulled off.
It's just, it was a rough time, man.
Fucking people didn't even know how to eat ice cream cones.
And so then we go to, serious, 2 movies in a row. They don't know how to eat ice cream. Because they're like, have a taste of ice cream. And like Carradine's eating it like a fucking dog. Like, he bites the cone. I'm like, no, you lick it. What are you doing? You don't just put your whole mouth over the ice cream cone and go, like, eating it. Like it's a fucking granola bar. What are you doing?
I want to know how he eats a popsicle.
I've never been so uncomfortable watching somebody on screen. Like, he's really... I don't like him.
No.
I don't like him at all.
No.
So he says to Sally, he's like, hey, how about we go cruise? And I'm like, oh, no. I don't know what that means. But cruising means they're going to go to a liquor store and they buy beers, and the owner goes, hey, hold on. I know you. You're a high school kid. How you 21? It says on your ID you're 21. And he's like, hey, listen here, old man, you old fucker. The way he deals with this, he's like, listen here, wrinkled dick. You're fucking embarrassing me in front of my lady, okay? I got held back a few years, all right? You fucking old-timey piece of shit. He's like...
They're buying a lot of beer. They're buying like 3 6-packs. And when they're leaving the liquor store, like, he does have the line where he's like, I don't know why he said that. He knows that ID cost me $50.
Yeah, and he says it in a way, he's like, I'll come back and I'm gonna fucking kill that guy, fucking dick. It's like, whoa, this movie has multiple turns to the dark side that I am not prepared for. Oh, God. And so then we go to a car lot, because apparently where you go on a date
is the car
is
lot.
whatever used car lot doesn't mind you filming there at night. Because they already got lights, and they just sit in a car lot drinking beers in a car, because that's a great thing to do in the 70s, because you're drunk in LA in the 70s, and what do? Drive a car. So while they're drinking, they see guys that are going to rob.
They're stealing hubcaps.
Yeah, they're stealing hubcaps. And then Robert Carradine thinks it's funny to turn on his lights and honk at them. And I'm like, dude, you're lucky they didn't just come up and fucking slash you.
Shoot you.
But at the same time, I think he'd want that.
So I bet you they're not so tough.
Like, I feel as if this is just a nightly routine for him. He's like, I'm going to see who else I can get to want to kick my ass tonight. And then we'll see how it works out, Hey. And so then we go to a gas station. For no reason now, Jesse and the rock girl are at a gas station. I don't know what happens, but some guys show up and try to kick his ass.
It's the other football players from the
okay,
other
from
team.
what you think. But I'm looking at guys in like Canadian tuxedos with handlebar mustaches, and I'm like, the fuck this dude come from? Did they do something else? Are these the dirt bike guys? Like,
maybe it is the dirt
it's
bike
true.
guys.
Because they just ride up and they're like, hey, fuck, and they just start fighting. And I'm like, we're in a scene that has no context. And I'm just seeing somebody get their ass kicked, and it looks very realistic. Then they just somehow drive away, and they're gonna like then rough up the gas station.
Yeah, the gas
guy?
station guy's like, someone needs to pay for this gas, and they just strong arm the football players or the dirt bike guys, strong arm the gas station attendant to like shutting up about it.
Yeah, he's like,
rather than being just like walking away. Like literally, they could just be like, "Fuck you" and walk away, but they're like, "What'd you fucking say? What'd you say?" It's
just like,
weird. Everyone's shitty in this movie.
I don't know what the fuck happened.
yeah.
Turns into like a Ryan Lochte Brazilian gas station situation really quickly.
Yeah, it's a real lucky situation. So then we go to Rock Girl's house, and like Jesse drops her off, and they make out in the driveway. Then we just go to the car lot again, and Carradine and Sally just fuck in the back of his car in the middle of a car lot. Then we go to locker rooms. So it's the day of the big game, right? Now, guys, tell me what's really sexy. Would
Locker
you say
rooms, man.
girls getting changed in the locker room?
Yeah.
You know what really turns me on about girls changing in the locker room? Is one of them looking at her breasts and going, "You think that's a lump?"
That's right.
Because there is nothing sexier to me than self-breast examination. Whoo, boy! Woo! Ow! Hitting all those tickers. You know what I mean? You're ticking all the boxes.
I mean, the only thing sexier is that opening scene in Carrie where she gets the her period.
I'm like, what the hell are you doing? There is a girl who says, "Do you think this is a lump?" as she's showing her breasts to the camera. It's almost like she was like, "I'm going to say that because I don't like being topless."
Yeah.
And Mr. Crown's like, "What the fuck?"
She's like,
If
this
they
is my
shoot it,
PSA.
they use it.
Hard then soft. You got tricked. You thought it was going to be sexy. But no. Get your breast checks, ladies. It's Breast Awareness Month.
That's right.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month.
Pink ribbons for
Get them
everyone.
checked.
Yeah. Crowns in there, like tying pink ribbons for everybody.
The opening night party.
It's very
It's just-
socially aware. That's how we got into schools. We proved that
With
you
the
need to,
PG version,
you need
yeah.
to check your breasts.
They kept the boobs for the PG
Girls-
version because of the anti-cancer.
Yeah, girls,
message.
check your breasts, and if you need an adult man to help you, we will help. It's very serious, okay? So there we go.
Nothing sexual about it.
Nothing.
I swear.
I'm like a doctor, cold hands, everything.
Just call me Dr. Mr. Crown.
So then, the waitress like comes up to the rock girl in the bathroom, and she's like, "Hey, are you with Jesse now? I saw you have his car keys from the ball." And she's like, "Yeah, he's a one-woman man now." And she's like, "Okay." Then the coach, he's
End of
like,
conflict.
"Okay, guys, here's how we're gonna rally. Ready? Let's pray." And then they pray.
Yeah.
Then the game is supposed to start, but instead of a game, it's just a massive brawl between both teams.
Just throwing punches and throwing blows.
Yeah, it
And
just
the coach just stands there and stares off in the distance, like
Yeah.
reflecting the past mistakes of his entire life that brought him to this moment.
yeah,
at
he's
the
like,
school.
"Fuck me, man."
First day.
He's like, "I feel like I'm gonna go coach the fucking Twins or something." The Indians. That's it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go coach the fucking Cleveland
I'm going to
Indians.
grow a sweet mustache. I'm going to change sports.
Oh, so then we go to a locker room again, and the guys are showering. And what we really want to see is Robert Carradine filling up a condom full of water from a shower head.
That's his type 5. Well, it's type 15 at this point.
Yeah, and then
It's also funny how like there's lots of guy butt in this one, but it's clear none of them were going to turn at all. So it's all like over the shoulder talking to each other. I'm pretty sure if they're in the shower together, they would like at least turn somewhat.
Yeah.
But it's all like over the shoulder talking.
also there's no like shower heads or like shower. It's like instead of a shower head, somebody just poked holes in the water pipe in the ceiling because the water is
it's a
just
fucking-
like it's very
Dude,
weird.
It's a gas chamber
It's
at a
Auschwitz
concentration.
in there, dude. It's fucking Auschwitz.
It's like Zyklon. He's filling up that condom with Zyklon B.
Yeah.
And then the coach comes in and he looks at Jesse and he goes, "Hey, this is a part in the movie where we're supposed to have more conflict." And he goes, "You're benched." And he's like, "Fucking, I don't care. I don't care, whatever, dude. I'm deep, fucking dick." And then the coach walks off and I'm like, huh. All right, this story is just not developing. Just not at all. But they're going to keep trying. School parking lot. The next scene is Jesse's just walking down the parking lot in a great over the shoulder like shot where they're like actually following him and stuff. And he just walks. Okay, so in the showers, the coach says, "You want to hit me, don't you? Hit me right now. Hit me in the face, you bitch." And Jesse's like, "I'm not going to do it." And he's like, "Yeah, so I thought." And so we cut to the parking lot. He tracks down the coach and just punches him right in the face and knocks his ass
Cold
out.
cocks him right in the parking lot in front of everybody.
And then instead of running off like Forrest Gump, he does get in his car and he gets in the van and drives off. And everybody's like, "The fuck just happened here?"
Yeah.
So I guess Jesse's done with school or something.
Oh, no, not at all. This goes completely unpunished.
No, he goes to the beach and he just runs along on the sunset like it's the end of a Punch-Out level, and he's just kind of contemplating
Little
life.
Mac.
Yeah, I could see Carradine as the guy on the bike. Keep going, Jesse. Doing a fucking handstand on that thing and shit. So then we go to the burger place, and Carradine and the girls pull up, and they're like, "Hey, Adler, I know you hate us and all, but have you seen our friend Jesse? Because he's gone missing." And then he pours more salt in the wound. He's like, "Hey, have this salt shaker, you fucking bitch." And he kisses Adler's ex-girlfriend in front of him. And he's like, "Yep, see you later." And I'm like, the fuck is wrong with you, man? What the fuck is wrong with all of you? Everyone in this movie. This makes me fear for humanity. It really does. It's like this. The warning signs were here. Pom Pom girls.
As early as 1976.
Fuck.
We knew the road we were on.
So then they're like, well, how do we find our friend? Okay, let's get drunk. Okay, let's do a fucking Night Force style. Let's get as drunk as we can, because that's when I do my good thinking.
Yeah.
And they're drinking beers in front of a 7-Eleven and just like fucking chucking them down on their car. And they're like, all right, 4 beers in, I'm ready to drive. And they go, where do you think he is? And they're like, the bowling alley. Cut to a bowling alley sign, and then just cut to the Rock Girl's house, because we just...
It's actually not a bowling alley. It is the arcade at the Santa Monica Pier.
Oh,
So I don't
really?
know if it's supposed to be the bowling alley or if they're just wrong about where he is.
Mr. Just cut to a sign.
Yeah.
Cut
to someone with
What
a
are you
neon.
talking about? You need a boat. Just cut to a sign. On your way back, film whatever you see, okay? Nobody is paying attention to this shit. Because at this point, you've lost me.
Yeah.
I mean, we had a breast exam in the movie. Like, I don't know where
At
the
this
fuck
point, they're
this is
still making out because of the locker scene and the breast exam.
Yeah.
They haven't started paying attention to the movie again.
At this point, yes. The boy in the car is checking his... We gave him a free pass because the girl said, oh my God, I've never checked for lumps. And he goes, well, why don't I check for you? So every guy in the drive-in is checking his broad's breasts at this point in the movie.
If we've succeeded as filmmakers, they are checking their girlfriend's breasts.
You know, they're real FBIs. So then we go to the Rock Girl's house. She's sleeping, and he shows up at her window, and he's like, hey. And she's like, what the fuck? He's like, no, I'm not here to kill you yet. Hey, I'm going to run away from here like I'm fucking James Dean or something, okay? And I want you to come with me because I'm really deep. And she's like, maybe you just come in my bed. And he's like, okay. And then we just cut to the morning. And then there's this whole scene where like the mom knocks on the door and he
He's
tries
gotta
to sneak out.
and the dad catches him getting back in. And hey, it's up early in the morning, huh? I thought it'd be too early. Look, you're such a gentleman. Come on, and we'll make you some flapjacks.
Yeah, and then there's a whole 5-minute scene of him eating breakfast, and there's like these jokes that just don't land.
Yeah.
You know, she's like, I don't know. It's like obvious puns. She's like, oh, those pancakes look like dicks.
Yeah, I'm sure that's what was in the script. Yeah.
Oh, man. Look at all these dick-shaped pancakes. You want to put it in your mouth, my daughter?
You've heard of Mickey Mouse pancakes, huh? We eat them like dicks. Yeah, have a sausage, and she's just doing it all phallic, you know? That's what it is. It's terrible. She's like, how about a big tall glass of milk, huh? They're putting white stuff all over my house, like my daughter's bed.
Love it if it was a passive-aggressive mom. Who's like, oh, yeah, well, you bet you're real tired, huh? You've been up late all night fucking my daughter.
Yeah.
Huh?
That's what it is. It's just terrible.
Yeah.
And none of them land. And then they're like, okay, let's end this scene. And the mom one more, she's like, why don't you come back tonight for some dinner when I'm making fresh cherry pie, like the one you stole last night.
She's ruined. You ruined my daughter.
And then it ends. And then we go to Sally and Adler at school, and he's like, hey, I want you back. And she's like, Bill, I don't think you understand. This relationship's over. I don't know if you saw that other guy grab my ass. And he's like, well, I'm not taking no for an answer. And that's when I write, everyone in this movie is unlikable now. Yeah. Every single person.
Everybody.
And then the coach comes up and he's like, Jesse, this movie's almost over, so we got to have some conflict. But I respect you now as a man. Thank you for punching me. I'm not going to tell the principal about it.
Or he was going to, like, make sure the principal didn't punish him for it.
Yeah, he's like, nothing's going to happen.
Yeah.
And it's going to be an interesting year. I'm like,
I was like,
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it definitely will.
Yeah.
Because we are in the second week, maybe.
This is like, I think the coach wants him to fuck him. Like, I really do. I think this is like a big like courting thing for him, where he's like,
This is like Nightmare on Elm Street 2.
yeah, you think you're a man, huh, Jesse? Punch me, huh? Now why don't you fuck me like a man, huh? He's like, Coach, I don't think this is where. He's like, yeah, huh? You're too much of a bitch, huh? Can't get it hard, can't get it up. Coach, I think I'm going home. I won't tell the principal about this either, Jesse.
And neither should you.
The doors are locked.
I've seen deflated footballs that were harder than you.
Heyo.
The origin of Tom Brady, you know?
All because a coach wanted to fuck him.
That's why he likes his football soft.
Yeah.
He was trying to tell that to the media. He's like, you'll never understand why I need those footballs slightly deflated. You'll never understand.
If you want to understand me, you need to rent a movie. It's called The Pom Pom.
I mean, I'm better off just taking the punishment. So then Adler comes in and he's like, hey, this is a Crown movie, so we need to end it in Crown fashion. Robert Carradine, I challenge you to a car race.
Always. It's always a car duel. Van Nuys Boulevard, we had one. The van, we had one. And now we have it in this.
But this one is by far the stupidest.
Yes.
Because he goes, I challenge you to a game of Suicide Chicken. And Robert Carradine goes, what the hell is Suicide Chicken? He goes, that's when you drive your car so you swap cars. And then we both drive real fast to the edge of a cliff, and the first guy who breaks loses. And they're like, that sounds like the stupidest idea ever. And before they can finish the sentence, Robert Carradine goes, you're on. Then we just cut to the coach and the principal. There's a useless scene where they're like, hey, guys, you really care about this subplot about the coach and Jesse? And they invite Jesse into the office and like, okay, Jesse, we've decided nothing's going to happen.
Yeah. Why? Nothing goes punished in the school.
And he goes, I'm quitting football. And they go, is that your final choice? And he says, yes. He stands up and walks out of the room, and the principal looks at the coach and goes, well, I guess that's that.
The coach just said, call the police.
Yeah, guess the movie's over.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, hold on. We got to go to pre-gaming, where Robert Carradine goes, the only way I know how to drive is drunk as fuck. And he's supposed to be chugging beers, but Carradine doesn't know how to chug a beer. And I'm not saying I would know how to chug a beer. I'm sure I don't. I'd probably pull the same thing, cool me in high school. Trying to be a cool kid. Would just pour the beer all over me instead of actually drinking it, which is what he does. It's just running down that jumpsuit he's wearing. Just
a beer bath, basically.
He's fucking taking a bath in this shit. And he's like, time me. I'm like, well, you got to drink it for it to count.
There's no reason to time you if you're just spilling it.
Fucking waterfall yourself and call it success. And so he's drinking beer after beer after beer. And they're like, please don't do this. And he's like, just a few more. And Sally eventually like grabs the beer from him. And she's like, come on, you've had enough. And they're like, all right, let's go do that Suicide Chicken game. And they pull up to it. And Bill Adler is dressed like Marlon Brando from Wild Ones. Oh, yeah. I mean, he is wearing the fucking Brando outfit. Yeah. Right? With the hat and the jeans and everything. And
like, where did he get this wardrobe? And it's like, I can't imagine this character having any, like, he just wears black the whole time.
This is why they called him the Brando of Crown.
Yeah. Fair enough.
I mean, because he literally dressed like him.
Yeah.
And then they do the Suicide Chicken.
Which I don't understand. Like, I just do not. I thought way too much about how the Suicide Chicken was supposed to work. Like, why swap cars?
Because you don't care about that car that you're driving, so therefore you're more inclined not to stop.
Yeah, that's the whole thing. It's like because you don't have any emotional attachment to that car.
Yeah.
But
and it's more of a chance to trash that car.
So the idea, this is me not understanding how chicken works with cliffs. So the idea is that you would bail. I thought the whole idea is that you went down with the ship if you were like, if you're going to push it.
Yeah.
To
So
that's
not
why
only
it's
do you
suicide.
die, you take their car out with you.
Yeah.
So bizarre. I don't know. Anyway,
So they do the Suicide Chicken, and unfortunately for Adler, he's in Christine, so that could go real bad. But they do it, and then Adler breaks first, obviously, and Carradine just rolls off the cliff. And my mouth was just agape.
Oh, mine too.
Oh, fuck. Then you just cut to a dust, like everybody running over, and they're like, holy fuck.
And then car is exploding. Scene after scene.
And they're like, holy shit.
It's like in
a real
Indiana
bookend.
Jones and the Last Crusade with the tank, where everyone rushes to the cliff thinking like Indy just went over, and then they cheap it out by Carradine appearing behind them somehow.
Yeah, he walks out like he's fucking Han Solo.
Yeah.
in like a cloud of dust or some shit.
He's got his funny quip.
Yeah, and he's something like some shit like. Oh, maybe rolling out. I don't even know what it is.
Like, oh wow, that looks cool. Like it's not.
Oh yeah. He's like, oh, I fucking missed it. That looked cool. I bet it was cool when that car exploded. Hey, Bill Adler, fuck you. I'm fucking your lady, and now I destroyed your car. Fucking end the movie.
And the movie ends.
Credits.
Credits.
Like
Freeze
literally
frame.
over Robert Carradine being like, I fucked your girl, I fucked your car, and I fucked you.
Yeah.
Peace.
Or it's like, once you get a new car, we can do this again next week. He says, is the last line of the movie.
Yeah. And Bill Adler's just standing there like, what the fuck? It was uncalled for.
I really wish he did die in that scene. It would have been so much more impactful.
Would have saved us a lot of trouble.
Yeah.
So recommendations?
It's tough for me to recommend this one because it's just not to the same level of like the van or the swap meet. It's just so bizarre, and it's hard to get on the same teams as the main characters.
Exactly. I am a hard no because there's other there's other better movies that do this same thing. Right. Like just watch
Right.
The Van.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've seen Pinball Summer.
Oh, I haven't seen that one. Oh, that was at that double feature.
Yeah, the double feature with Joyce is really, really similar. Like with a prank war, but it's actually like funny. And it's just a better, like it's very similar, but better. Like there's just better versions of this movie. That were made.
So I think this is better in Malibu Beach because that movie was terrible.
Oh God,
which was
yeah.
the unofficial sequel to The Van.
That's right,
with Dugan
yeah.
in it. I'd give it like a soft recommend actually, just because of the amount of insanity that Robert Carradine does in this movie, and it's like Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer, in that you're watching a man that you know is bad, and you're never on his side, and you just watch him devolve into madness, and you know that if this movie went another day 3 of school, it would end in a murder.
Yeah.
And Carradine would be a suspect.
I have to say, I pulled a Hughes on this. I watched it at 1.5 speed.
Okay,
And
so
it helped the pacing of a lot of scenes.
guys, you hear that sound?
Oh, I do.
How do you think Bobby and DeVito fit in the world of Pom Pom girls? Chris, you look like you're deep in thought.
I still am.
I'll riff on this one. So I imagine, because I hate the two main characters of this movie so much, that they make Bobby look like a decent human being.
Oh, they do.
So I like to imagine that maybe Bobby went to the rival school. So he only knew these guys as the rival assholes. And so through some sort of weird thing that he actually challenges them to a race. And he helps run their van off a cliff. And they both die.
This is it's so easy because it just exists in the same world. But it feels like a prequel.
Yeah, it's just too easy though. It's like I don't even want to touch it because it's too easy.
Yeah, I feel like definitely Bobby would have went to the other school.
Yeah.
And he would have been like, whoa, those guys are real dicks. And just, I don't know. I mean, I'm just almost at a loss of words. Like, I've watched a man, Robert Carradine, do these things and feel no remorse for them. And everybody in this movie is so bad that I just fear for humanity now. Yeah. I really do. The warning signs were there. Mm-hmm. We shouldn't have progressed past this movie. Somebody should have taken it out and said, this is the end. And fucking, at the beginning of Apocalypse Now, just light it all on fire. Light it all on fire. Get rid of LA. Just all of the Palisades. Take it out. Take it out before anything else happens. Yeah. Before Bobby gets the van. Yeah. Before anything happens. Yeah. Because we'd all be better off. It's a horrible world we live in. Yeah.
Fuck that school. Level it. Raise the building.
Salt the earth.
Well, I mean, we need to start again. We need,
we need to build.
You know what? I get it. This is why AIDS came around. It's this movie. It really is. It really is. They were like, we have lived to a level of excess where we can't sustain it anymore. Just bring it in. Somebody fucked a monkey. Get it in there. Get AIDS. It needs to happen. need to cleanse society. No more swinging high schooling,
Yeah.
you know? No more just rolling around in vans trying to get women in the back and smoke joints with you. It all needs to end.
Oh, there's a pill treatment for that? Jack it up by 50%. 1,500%.
So yeah, that's how I think it fits in with the van.
Yeah.
Long story short, AIDS.
Yeah. Because every other character is just so out of control where Bobby does not fit in properly in the same
No.
setting. I just, it's hard to fit him in there.
I think Bobby would be scared. I think he would drive away and be like, this was too much for me.
those kids are fucked up.
He would just drive himself off the cliff. He'd be like, no, I can't do it anymore. And
Yeah.
him and DeVito go off together.
That jug of wine just rolling around the back as they bump around.
He just takes
As
everybody
the
with
van is
him.
going off the cliff,
Yeah.
the toast pops
Like,
up.
there's a part where they're all driving in the van, you know, with the jug of wine, and Bobby's got just the 1,000-yard stare. And they're like, Bobby, what's wrong with you? And he's like, you don't know the things I've seen. The things I've seen. The people I've seen. It's horrible. It's horrible. And then just does a hard left off the
lefts,
cliff.
yep.
And just met a girl. Pop with the toast.
And then it explodes.
And on a
The whole van explodes. And then there's usually like a mushroom cloud, but it's just the water from the waterbed. A flume.
Steam.
Thanks again for joining us on another episode of The Grindbin. You can find us at grindhousefilm.com, Twitter at GrindPod, Instagram The Grindbin Podcast, and we're also on Facebook. Michael, go ahead. Promote.
I will be appearing at WonderCon in Anaheim, March 23rd, 24th, 25th. Come see me in Artist Alley at table F something something. I'm also appearing on a panel Friday night called Unnecessary Debates at 6 p.m. in room 2 something something. Look it up if you really care.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Check it out.
Check it out. Bobby, drive off the cliff.
When the weight of the world starts getting me down and there's no place I can go, I climb the stairs up to my empty room, oh my lonely room. There's a key that I keep in the back of my mind that unlocks a special door. Shows me things I've never seen before. And I know that people need sunshine, and people need good times, and people need love. And I know that you, girl, you've given me sunshine, you've given me good times, you've given me love. I'm not the kind that can easily say all the things I want to say. I'd gladly shout